Welcome to episode 5 of Must Have Mods. Today I'll be going over some underrated gems you've likely never heard of before. Let's get into it. Guys, are you tired of having to carry your load? Do you have too much load for Lydia to handle? Well, don't worry. Dragonkiller Cart has got you covered. This mod allows you to travel around on a cart. You can load it with all your items, and even carry 4 followers with you. You can also destroy any wildlife you come across. I'll quickly go over how to set the cart up, as doing so isn't very intuitive. I promise this mod is pretty cool. You just have to get used to going through a bunch of menus from time to time. Upon loading into the game, you'll be given a power to summon the cart. Interacting with the cart will prompt you with various options, but you'll first want to open your cart's cargo and read the Dovahkiin's cart book. You'll then unlock a recipe for a horse harness you can craft at a tanning rack. Once you've got a horse harness, you'll want to add it to your cart's cargo, and you'll now be able to tether your horse to the cart and can ride around. There are 2 ways to ride the cart around, the first one being on the horse itself. But this is boring. I implore you to instead get on the cart itself, to temporarily become the horse. I assure you, this is the most immersive method of transportation. Surprisingly, for the most part, the cart is actually pretty stable, though I do recommend traveling at a moderate speed, as it can get pretty janky at high speeds. But if you're following regular roads and paths, you shouldn't encounter too many issues. But if you do, it's very easy to reset the cart by summoning it again. Just never make a save while sitting on the cart, as reloading that save may cause some issues. Now, this mod does more than just letting you ride a cart around. It comes with a whole crafting and building system. There are books, which you can purchase off vendors to unlock recipes for various kinds of items and furniture, like alchemy tables, tents, bedrolls, and more. Dropping these items will place them down, allowing for them to be used. So you can easily carry around supplies to set up camps wherever you travel, and it's perfect for those running with survival mods. You can also craft additional storage for your cart and various horse armors. It is also worth mentioning the mod adds a lot of other miscellaneous features, like being able to call over your horse, adding a fast travel icon to the cart on the map, letting you sit or lie down, and more. Also, big shout out to the mod author, implementing what I can only describe as the most immersive method of collecting wood, as you'll actually have to go out and find pieces of wood out in the world to pick up, which is engaging and fun. But do you know what else is engaging and fun? EF Defense. EF Defense is a new play-to-earn tower defense game. It's available worldwide, except in China, and can be played on iOS, Android, and PC. The goal of the game is pretty straightforward. Like tower defense games, you've got to defend your base from enemies. As you progress, enemies will become tougher, and so you'll need to strengthen your units and upgrade structures to succeed. You'll also be able to unlock heroes and guardians that have unique skills, equip them with gear, and put together interesting team compositions to defeat your foes. I like how the game takes place on different types of battlefields, with loads of unique enemies to keep things interesting. Some enemies will fall from the sky, others might appear through portals, and some will... EF Defense isn't your average tower defense game. You can conquest enemy bases, fight other players in arenas, progress through a tower of trials, and you can even create or join guilds. There's also been a big update recently that's added a new hero and extra content. So don't miss out on the fun. Click the link in the description or scan my QR code to play EF Defense today. I'm sure you'll find something you'll enjoy. Add over. If you're like me, you've probably spent hundreds of hours hunting down mods that overhaul places in the game. You've overhauled main important locations like cities, villages, and Helga's bedroom. But what about less prominent locations? Well, for that, you'll want to take a look at some mods from Rin to G. They've been overhauling various miscellaneous locations like camps and farms, as well as these standing stones. Lots of mods overhaul cities and villages, but there aren't that many that touch miscellaneous locations, so you'll definitely want to give these locations some love. And it helps make replaying the game fresh again. Have you ever wanted to sail the 7 seas? Wait, hold on, how many seas does Nern have?
5 minutes later.
Oh, okay, so Nern has 7 seas too. Alright.
Have you ever wanted to sail the 7 seas?
Have you ever wanted to plunder booty? Alright, I'll ditch the pirate accent. Wanderer's Heart is an ambitious mod that allows you to commandeer a ship and become a pirate. To start, you'll want to find a captain at a port selling a ship. Keep in mind, this will cost you a pretty penny, so it's not something you'll be able to afford early game. Upon purchasing the ship, you'll then be transported onto it with your newly formed crew. Talking to any of your crew members will bring up options to set sail, sail to another sea, and to show the condition of the ship. When selecting set sail, you'll be able to control the ship and sail around. Keep in mind, your walking animations will affect how ships move. And if you have a dodge mod, you probably shouldn't dodge. But okay, you can sail to various ports to dock your ship. And this isn't just in Skyrim, by the way. You can also sail over and dock at Solstheim. When sailing, you'll come across other various ships, from small merchant ones to large warships. Most will be friendly, but be sure to look out for the pirates. You can also choose to raid ships if you wish, and doing so will initiate a battle. Both ships will be set side by side, and you and your crew will be put up against the enemy. After winning a battle, you'll be able to strip ships of their loot, and even capture them. You can only capture one ship at a time though, and there isn't much use to capturing ships other than selling them at ports. When visiting ports, you can also recruit extra sailors from them by spending gold, and you'll also be able to travel to your ship from any port. Visiting other seas can be fun, as you'll get to see other parts of the continent, but currently there's not much point to this, other than raiding other ships in the area. But there is an optional add-on that makes it possible to visit another mod, Lagoon, Skyrim Tropical Island, in the Abyssinian Sea. It's a great hideout base for those role-playing a pirate, and boy oh boy, does it have some cute wildlife. Being able to control a ship, sail around, and visit ports is mind-blowing. Though Wanderer's Heart is quite rough around the edges, there is massive potential for this mod. I know the mod author is looking for people to help expand it, and I can only imagine how great this mod would be if given more polish and extra content in the form of new ports to visit. So if you're a mod author with some time on your hands, please consider helping out. Potions are stupidly overpowered in Skyrim. There are mods like Potluck Limiter and Zupa that help nerf them, but even difficult fights can still be trivialized by simply backing up, downing a few potions, and playing like a turtle. But thankfully, there is a solution to this conundrum. Potion toxicity makes potions toxic. Consuming potions will raise your toxicity level. Toxicity will decrease your max health and decrease the potency of potions you consume. 1 or 2 potions isn't too bad, but be careful, because if you consume more than 3 in a short period of time, you'll end up being as toxic as a League of Legends player. And if you continue to overdose, well. To cure toxicity, you'll first want to quit playing League of Legends. Toxicity levels will simply go down over time. However, it is worth mentioning sleeping reduces toxicity much faster. The author recommends you try potion toxicity out with tonics heal over time, so potion effects are applied over time rather than being instant. It's a pretty good combo, and overall, I must say it's a decent approach to balancing potions. Now, if we could only balance restoration magic, I had a few ideas, like maybe if healing slowly decreased your max health, or gave you some sort of temporary restoration sickness, so you have diminishing returns from healing. But yeah, I don't really know of any mods that balance restoration magic, so please comment down below if you know of any. Alright, it's time to get soaking wet. Hold up, I didn't mean that in a weird way, it's just the name of the mod. There have been mods out there like Ras that add a visual wet effect with textures to actors when they touch water. Though I'll be honest, the effect kind of looks like actors are covered in cream.
Oh my god, bro. Oh, hell no.
Soaking wet, however, takes a different approach and dynamically changes specular and glossy values of skin, hair, armors, and weapons when they're wet. The effect looks really good, and I especially love the reflections from it. It also features seamless transitions, so soaking and drying times aren't jarring. It just works, while being script-free, super lightweight, and configurable. In a similar vein to soaking wet, we also have simple block sparks. This mod adds sparks to actors when they block attacks. It's just a visual effect, but it helps to make combat feel more impactful and intense, while still being script-free and lightweight. But to really elevate combat to the next level, we'll need to overhaul sound effects. Eviscerate is a weapon sound overhaul that adds new sound effects for swings, impacts, projectiles, and more. When paired with simple block sparks, it makes fights way more engaging, and it's a night and day difference. Guys, sometimes using both hands at the same time can get tiring, so why not just settle on using one? One-handed crossbow framework adds new one-handed crossbows to the game. You can purchase these special crossbows from Soreen Gerard after completing the Ancient Technology quest from the Dawnguard DLC. You can also craft them at a forge, but you'll still need to have the quest completed and the relevant smithing perks. Currently, there's only a steel and dwarven variant, but the author did say they'd add more down the road. Okay, now technically speaking, they're not actually crossbows. The author has actually disguised a staff as a crossbow in a clever way, so they won't fully act as crossbows, but for the most part, they function as regular crossbows. Now, because of how this mod has been implemented, there are a few restrictions, like being unable to zoom in, poison, or enchant these crossbows. But to be honest, I think that's fine, and it actually might be more balanced to keep it this way, as you'll have another hand free to slot in a spell, weapon, or fuck it, another crossbow. A lot of new kinds of builds open up, as these one-handed crossbows still scale with your archery skill, so get creative. Alright, that concludes the episode. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Also consider supporting the channel on Patreon. My amazing patrons help make it possible for me to keep producing the content you're watching, while I also study at uni. Take care, lads and lasses, and see you next time.